spent weeks researching how to start a business in Japan, but still feel lost, or you just had your business manager visa application rejected? Here's what might be holding you back and how to fix it. Welcome to the SmartStart Japan's YouTube channel. Today, we will talk about why your business manager visa application may get rejected or have been rejected. Now, let's talk about who this video is for. First, this is for individuals who are planning to start a business in Japan. Maybe you are looking into applying for your very first business manager visa, and you want to make sure you get it right from the start. That's a really smart move, because let's face it, this process can feel overwhelming if you are not familiar with the requirements or the potential pitfalls with the applications. Second, it is for those of you who have already taken a shot at applying, but your initial application was rejected. It happens, and honestly, it's more common than you might think. The key here is to understand why your application didn't make the cut and figuring out how to improve it. We'll walk you through what you need to do to strengthen your chances when you reapply. And finally, this is also for the entrepreneurs who are already running their business here in Japan. If this is your second or third visa renewal, or maybe this is your first, you know how critical it is to avoid mistakes in this process. A small oversight can lead to big consequences, and nobody wants their visa status to jeopardize all their hard work they've put into their business. So whether you're just starting out and working on a comeback after rejection, or aiming to keep things smooth during renewal, this video will guide you through the essentials. So stick around, we'll make sure you have the tools and knowledge you need to move forward with confidence. Now let me introduce our team. First, we have our co-founder, Taejin Yoon. Born and raised in Japan, TJ brings years of experience in investment advisory and international relations. Fluent in both English and Japanese, he has guided over 25 companies and successfully managed 40 subsidy and loan applications in Japan. Taejin is your go-to expert for navigating the complex setup requirements here in Japan. Next, we have Tyson Batino, our co-founder who specializes in revenue growth and advisory services. And finally, here's me, Heiken, the marketing manager and the content creator here at SmartStart Japan. I'm dedicated to bringing you insights on how to successfully launch your business in Japan. Alright, so let's get into the top 6 reasons why business manager visas applications get rejected. Understanding these common pitfalls can save you tons of frustrations and wasted effort. So the first reason is a lack of a clear business plan. You'll be surprised how many applications are vague or incomplete in this area. Immigration officials want to see more than just your ambitions. They need detailed, actionable plans. Think about it like this. If your business plan does not paint a crystal clear picture of your goals, strategies, and timelines, it's hard for them to feel confident in your venture. Reason number 2, insufficient proof of capital formation. This isn't just about having enough money, it's about showing exactly where your capital is coming from and how it will be allocated. If your financial documentation is incomplete, inconsistent, or unclear, you're setting yourself for rejection. Proving that you have got the resources to sustain your business is absolutely critical. Reason number 3, inadequate office setup. Now this one might seem minor, but actually it's not. Immigration authorities want to see a proper physical office space dedicated to your business. Using a home address or a shared co-working space without an exclusive setup, that's a red flag for the immigration authorities. You need a legitimate lease agreement and a space that's clearly fit for running your operations, which we will talk about in the slides later. Moving on to reason number 4, ambiguous business objectives. This ties back to your business plan, but it's more about the why behind your venture. If your objectives are all over the place or it doesn't align with the type of business you're setting, officials will question whether your application is serious. Clarity is very important. Make sure your objectives are focused and well explained. Reason number 5, lack of business stability. Immigration isn't just looking at your launch, they're looking at your sustainability. If your application doesn't show how your business will thrive over time, or if your revenue projections seems shaky, that's a big issue. They want to feel confident that your venture won't fizzle out in just a few months. And finally, reason number 6, the applicant's insufficient experience or problematic history. This one's tough, but it's important. Immigration officials will evaluate your background to ensure that you have got the expertise to make sure your business will be successful. Prior legal troubles, visa violations, any criminal record, or even lack of experience in your relevant industry for the business that you're trying to establish will raise serious concerns about your application. Now, it's important to note that many visa rejections happen fundamentally because the applicants don't fully understand who the target audience is for the business manager visa. People with the mindset of, hey, I want to live in Japan, or it doesn't matter if my company isn't profitable yet, or I can just start any business that I want and then chill in Japan, will not work for the business manager visa. So we think it's important to make it very clear on what the business manager visa is and is not. The business manager visa is for entrepreneurs and executives who want to actively manage their own company in Japan. This visa allows you to live in Japan while running your company. It is not a passive investment visa. It is not a, let's say, live in Japan and chill visa. You must demonstrate your active involvement in your company's management, not just the financial investment. With that out of the way, let's now talk about one of the biggest deal breakers when it comes to business manager visa: a weak business plan. Immigration officials want to see a solid, detailed roadmap for your business. Without it, your chances of approval drop significantly. Here's what often goes wrong. First, a lack of specifics. If your business plan does not clearly outline how your business will operate, it's a problem. Immigration needs to see concrete details about your operations, what you'll be doing, how you do it, and the steps you will take to make it happen. Vague or overly broad plans just won't do it. Next, unrealistic or vague goals. Phrases like, hey, our business will cater to everyone in this sector, or cater to everyone in the industry, are clear red flags. Why? Because they fail to define your target market or show understanding of the demand. Immigration is looking for focus, who are your customer, and how does your business meet their needs. Broad, unsubstantiated goals make your plan look unrealistic. Lastly, missing details. This includes things like financial projections for the next 3 to 5 years, operation strategies, and/or staffing plans. These are critical elements. Without them, your business plan feels incomplete, and immigration might doubt whether you have truly thought things through for your business plan. For example, how will you manage your team? What's your strategy for achieving financial stability? These specifics matter. Remember, a strong business plan isn't just formality. It's your proof that you've got a clear, actionable vision for your venture. Next, let's take a closer look at the second reason for visa rejection: insufficient capital proof. One of the key requirements for the business manager visa is demonstrating you have 5 million yen investments ready to invest in your company. But it's not just about having that money, it's about proving where it came from. First, the lack of documentation. Immigration officials need clear evidence showing the origin of your funds. If you can't provide the right paperwork, like bank statements or transaction records, they might assume the funds are unreliable or questionable. They would need a clear record of that 5 million exists in your bank account through a bank statement, and they will need to know where that 5 million came from. So which leads us to point number 2, missing details about the type of capital. Is it a personal saving? Is it a loan that you got somewhere? Is it some investor funding? You need to mention it. Immigration wants to see that your capital source is legitimate and sustainable for your business operation. If you get a 5 million yen loan that you can't really pay back, that doesn't really show your business being sustainable, right? The important point here is to show that your 5 million yen doesn't just come from nowhere. If your current income doesn't match the funds you're claiming, you will need to explain how you acquired them. Was it a business sale, family support, inheritance? Be specific and transparent about it. This step is about building trust with the immigration authorities. Giving them clear documentation of your capital shows that you are genuinely interested in doing business in Japan and actively managing your company. Next, let's talk about inappropriate office setup. Immigration authorities takes this very seriously. As the office represents the physical foundation of your business, here are some key issues that you would want to avoid. First, virtual or share office space without clear boundaries are not acceptable. If you're using a co-working space, you need to ensure it's exclusively designated for your business. So that would basically means that you are showing that the entire floor or the entire co-working space is only exclusively for your company's use. Simply renting a desk in a shared space doesn't provide the legitimacy they're looking for. It needs to have a lock, it needs to be in a separate room, you need the plaque showing your business is well established in that office. Second, Residential properties used as office can lead to rejection unless they are very well documented. If you're thinking of using your home as your office, you will need to provide substantial proof that it's suitable for business operation. This includes zoning compliance and ideally clear separation from your living space. And that leads me to the final point. Your lease must explicitly state that the location can be used for commercial purposes. Immigration will scrutinize your lease agreement, and it needs to be at least 1 year to ensure it aligns with your application. If your lease lacks this requirement, then the location that you have chosen cannot be used as your office for the business manager visa application. To the right, you will see 2 examples of acceptable and not acceptable offices. On the top right, you will see very much a co-working space which doesn't show clear office separation, or it doesn't show that this office is dedicated to exclusively your company, so that will not work. Something like a private office, like the bottom right, would be much better. It's best to show that you have a separate room and you have a separate lock and key having access to your office. We'll show more examples in the next 2 slides. Here are some examples of office space that will not work. Spaces that have many people working at the same time, and it's not clear whether these are all your employees. This type of offices will not work. What will work is an office space that is independent, has a clear door and a lock, and ideally, if you are working alone, it only shows like a single desk, only shows that it's your private office. Something like the 3 images being shown here are good examples of offices that will work for your business manager visa application. Going back to another reason for visa rejection is the lack of business stability. Immigration authorities want to ensure your business can sustain itself in the long term, and there are 2 major red flags they are looking for here. First, missing proof of operational continuity. Immigration expects you to provide solid evidence that your business can maintain its operations in the next couple of years. This means submitting detailed financial forecasts for the next 3 to 5 years, along with comprehensive operational plans. Without these, it's hard for them to trust your business has a roadmap for stability and growth. Second, businesses showing significant financial losses in their home country. If your business has a track record of consecutive years of losses, whether it's in Japan or your home country, it raises serious doubts about its financial health. These losses signal instability and makes immigration question whether your venture can survive, let alone contribute to the Japanese economy. In short, your business needs to demonstrate both planning and performance. If either one is lacking, it's a major hurdle for your visa approval. Make sure to address these points clearly in your application to avoid unnecessary setbacks. Now, the final reason I want to talk about is the applicant's insufficient experience or problematic history that leads to business manager visa rejections. First, your background might not support the business you're trying to build. Immigration officials will look closely at whether you have the relevant experience in the industry you're entering. For example, if you are opening a restaurant but you have no prior experience in hospitality, food service, or management, this could raise serious doubts about your ability to succeed. They want to see that you are prepared, not just passionate about setting up a business in Japan. Next, not having enough management experience. While formal qualifications like degrees aren't always required, having a solid history of leadership or managerial roles makes a big difference. This shows that you know how to handle the challenges of running a business in Japan. If you can't demonstrate this experience, immigration may question whether you are capable of effectively managing a company. In short, it's not just about having the idea or having the plan. It's about proving that you have the skills and experience to turn that idea into a successful business. The more you can back up your application with a relevant track record, the stronger your case will be. To dive a little bit deeper, let's take a look at some specific examples of rejection scenarios highlighting the issues we have been discussing. First, the applicant's business plan is not logical. A common mistake is focusing too much on the vision or the long-term aspirations of the business without explaining the immediate stability and sustainability. Immigration officials need concrete, actionable details. It's not just big ideas, which we have seen applicants got rejected because of this reason. Next, the applicant's background doesn't match the business they want to start. For example, there's an applicant who wants to launch an AI business, but he has no engineering or tech background. And in the end, he struggled to convince immigration authorities of their capability of starting and running that business, which resulted in his application being rejected. Finally, applicants with a criminal history in the home country often face automatic rejection. Immigration authorities prioritize trust and credibility, and a prior criminal record raises red flags about an applicant's ability to operate responsibly in Japan. So we've seen people with a criminal history or criminal record get rejected fairly quickly. Okay, well, the truth is visa rejection does happen. And what happens if your visa is rejected? Well, first, it's important to know that your application is maintained, or at least the record is maintained by immigration authorities. That means that even if you reapply, your previous submission is still on record, and they will compare your new application with the old one. So make sure you are consistent in address the reasons for the rejection. Second, reapplications face increased scrutiny and stricter requirements. Immigration may take a closer look at your documents and business plan, and they will likely expect stronger evidence to address any shortcomings from your first attempt. Essentially, the bar is raised, so you need to be more prepared than your first application. Finally, discrepancies between your applications can trigger suspicion of falsification. If the details in your reapplication don't align with your previous submission, it could raise red flags. Immigration might question the authenticity of your information, which could hurt your chances even further. Now, let's talk about some strategies or some steps you can take to overcome rejection. If your application is denied, don't panic. It's not the end of the world. There are clear steps you can take to address the issues and strengthen your chances for approval for the second time round. First, visit immigration office to confirm the reason for rejection. Immigration officials won't provide detailed explanation over the phone or via email, so it's crucial to meet them in person. Use this opportunity to clarify exactly why your application was rejected. Understanding the reasons is basically the first step to fixing your application. Next, consult professional for guidance. Visa rejections can often be complex, requiring expert knowledge to navigate. People like us who have helped a dozen clients apply for their business manager visa are the people who you want to talk to guide you through this process. Our insights can help you avoid making the mistakes again and make sure your next application looks solid and your next application will be successful. And finally, once you have identified the reasons for your rejection and you have talked to the relevant professionals, take the corrective actions to mitigate this issue. If the problem lies in missing documentation or unclear business plan or inappropriate office setup, make sure these are addressed or talk to the relevant experts that will help you address this issue. Make sure when you submit your second application, all these rejection reasons have been addressed, and make sure there are no inconsistency between your first application and your second application. And in the end, we would like to tell you the truth about a second application and why is it so important to get it right the first time. The reality is that once your application gets rejected, it becomes much harder to succeed in your second time application. Even if you manage to get approved after reapplying, immigration is likely to only issue a short-term visa, often just below 6 months or 6 months. This can lead to ongoing challenges for your business as the limited period creates uncertainty and makes it harder to plan for the future for your business in Japan. So, rather than risking rejection and the complications of a difficult reapplication, it is far better to get expert advice upfront. Contact us first to ensure you avoid those crucial mistakes and submit a strong application right from the start. It is the smartest way to set yourself up for success and keep your business plans on track. And if your business visa application got rejected, contact us. It is not the end of the world. Let us help you make it right for the second time. So that is the end of our video. If you are looking to get your business manager visa, or you have failed your first business manager visa application and is in the process of resubmitting, SmartStart Japan is here to make that process seamless and stress-free. We'll handle everything from preparing and submitting your incorporation documents to managing your taxes, labor, and welfare filings. Our team ensures quick responses and detailed insights so you can focus on building your business while we take care of the paperwork. We are also equipped to assist overseas applicants, whether you're setting up your first company or applying for a business manager visa here in Japan. We'll guide you through every step. We only take cases where we are confident you have a high chance of approval, so you know you are in the good hands once we have partnered with you. If you want to know more about the details of the Business Manager Visa itself, check out our last video on Business Manager Visa in Japan, what it is, and some exclusive tips on how to apply for your Business Manager Visa.